the Babywearing Math Teacher, and today we're going to talk about multi-digit division. So the first example I want to look at is 714 divided by 14. Now the first thing that I want to do is actually make an estimation. So I'm going to put that in a little thought bubble off to the side. And to make my estimation, I'm going to round 14 to 15, and I'm going to round 714 to just 700. When I create this estimation, I'm not going to check it, I'm just going to kind of use it as a guide when I'm doing my multi-digit division. So if I think 15 into 70, that's going to go in about 5 times. So I'm going to fill in my placeholder of a 0. So my estimation is going to be 50. So that's my thought bubble. Now I'm going to actually divide, and I'm going to use that division. Would you like one? I'm going to use this estimation to come up with the numbers over here. So I want to first try a 5. So 14 into 71, 5 times. And then I multiply it by the 4. 5 times 4 is 20. My 0 goes down here, and I carry the 2. Then I multiply 5 times 1 and add 2, and I get 7. I want to make certain that this number is lower than this number, and it is. Now I subtract. So 71 minus 70 is 1. I now want to make certain that this number is lower than this number so that I know that my answer, my quotient, is in the right direction. Next thing I want to do is bring down the 4. So this one's nice and easy. 14 goes into 14 exactly once. And when I multiply 1 times 14, I get 14, which means there's no remainder or there's no decimal. And then the last thing I want to do is verify that my estimation and the answer that I got are close. If they're close, then most likely the work I did is correct. So let's go ahead and we're going to look at another example. And I'm going to follow those same steps. So this time I'm going to do 1040 divided by 40. And again, I want my thought bubble, I want my estimation. When I estimate this one, I'm going to keep 40 as 40, and I'm going to think into 1,000. Or really what I'm thinking when I make this estimation is 4 into 10. And if I think of that, well, it's going to go in twice, or 40 into 100 will also go in twice. It'll be, twice would be 80. There's going to be another 20. So it'll probably go in, well, it goes into 100 exactly 2.5 times. So that means my estimation will be 25 because it's halfway up to 30. So that's my estimation. I'm looking for an answer that's probably somewhere close to 25. And I'm going to use those numbers as I do my multi-digit division. So I'm going to look at 40 into first 1, it can't go into that, then 10, can't go into that, but it can fit into 104. So 40 goes into 104, and I'm going to use my estimation and start with a 2 and try that first. So then I'm going to multiply 2 times 0, which is 0, and 2 times 4, which is 8. This number is smaller, so I can subtract it. 4 minus 0 is 4, and 10 minus 8 is 2. Now I want to make sure, yes, this number is smaller than this number, so I can move on and bring down the 0. So now 40 into 240, or if you take off the 1s, 4 into 24 goes in 6 times. 6 times 0 is 0, and 6 times 4 is 24, which is no remainder or no decimal. And again, the last thing I want to do is check to make sure that my quotient matches my estimation quotient, and sure enough, it's very, very close. So I think I did my work correctly. We'll do one last one just for good measure. Now this is multi-digit division following a standard algorithm. There might be other methods out there, but this is the most popular. So my last last example, I'm going to do 5,490 divided by 305. And as always, I want my thought bubble, my estimation. The reason I make this thought bubble is I don't want to, at the end, confuse that with my work and write that answer in as my actual answer, because then I'll be getting a lot of really close answers, but not correct answers. Alright, so as I estimate this, I want to round the 305 to 300, and I want to think of 5,490 as 5,500. So as I estimate this out, I'm going to kind of look, actually what I'm going to think of is 3 into 55, and I know that 3 times 18 is 54, so I'm going to use 18 as my estimation, because it's close and it goes in nice and evenly for my estimation. Alright, so over here with my actual work, I'm putting 305 starting out where the place value, where it fits in, because it can't go into 5 or 54, but 305 can fit into 549. So how many times is it going to go into that? Well, if I have two 300s, that's already 600. That's too much. It's only going to fit in one time. So 1 times 305 is 305. And 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 minus 0 is 4. And 5 minus 3 is 2. Check to make sure that this number is smaller than this guy. And it is, so I can bring down my 0. Alright, here I'm going to think 3 into 24. So I'm just taking off my 1s and 10s here, and looking at the remaining numbers. So 3 into 24, well, that's going to go in 8 times, so I'm going to start there and see where that leads me. 8 times 5 is 40, so the 4 is up there carried, and the 0 goes down. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And 8 times 3 is 24. And sure enough, my numbers match, so I'm going to have 0 as my remainder, meaning no decimal. So again, I'm the Babywearing Math Teacher. This is how to divide multi-digit numbers. Thanks for joining me, because math is so good.